Let's stay with that story now. And Qolani has filed a criminal complaint. The Legal Resources Centre is assisting him. The LRC's Lelethu Mgedezi speaking to us about that. Now, very good morning, Lelethu. Thanks for your time. Can you give us an idea as to where the charges have been laid already?
Good morning, Rebecca, and thank you for having us at the Legal Resources Centre. So, yes, we assisted Mr. Qolani yesterday at the Khayelitsha SAPS to go and lay charges, and the charges have indeed been laid. And these relate to the under Section 3 and 4 of the Prevention of Combating and Torture Act. And as Mr. Qolani was violently handled and treated in an inhumane and degrading manner in endeavor to remove him from his structure that was demolished on the 1st of July. So on arrival at the police station, Mr. Qolani, when he arrived to lay the charges, were advised by the station commander that a docket had already been opened and they had already started compiling statements for this matter. Now, there are a myriad of other charges that the SAPS intends to level against the officials. That includes malicious injury to property, contravention of the Disaster Management Act regulations, and criminal injury. Okay. And we also have been advised that the matter will be handled by the Western Cape Provincial SAPS office.
All right, Lelethu, can you tell us exactly who he's laid these charges against? Would it just be the officers? Is it going to be the department? Can you give us those details?
Well, the nature of criminal proceedings would necessitate that the charges be laid against individuals. Well, we don't necessarily have the individual's names at this stage. That's a task for the SAPS to undertake. So it is actually intended to be individuals that work within the department, the city, the metro city, but individually in their capacity as individuals. So that's how it will proceed.
All right. Well, we heard the city saying earlier that he was clothed before the eviction, and this was a tactic to stop the eviction, possibly delay it. What's he had to say about this?
Our client vehemently denies this allegation. And I mean, we do not wish to explicitly deal with the merits at this stage because the process will unfold in the criminal court. And if that's the version that the city has, then they're welcome to go and present that in court. And given the circumstances and the video footage that we've seen, which seems to be quite a complete sense of what took place at the time, they can present that version in court, and it will be for the court to make a determination whether that's reasonably possibly true.
All right, and then just to go back to how all of this began, the city saying he was illegally occupying land, and I'm not sure where we stand on evictions. Last I dealt with this issue with somebody they were saying that if structures were put up during lockdown, then they were to be torn down. If those structures had to be put up before lockdown, then you couldn't. So where are we on that?
Okay, so I mean, people started to move into the area, particularly during the lockdown period, because as it happened, people started losing jobs, and there was no income, so they could not afford to rent, and this forced them into the circumstance of moving into these areas. But be that as it may, and the argument that will come there is that, well, this has become a land invasion, and we argue that, look, the conduct of the city is they misguided in saying that this is a land invasion and it's not an eviction. We argue that this is prohibited under the PI Act and the Constitution, and so they should proceed on the basis of what legislation says.
So we know that the Human Rights Commission also taking the city to court over eviction laws. Will you be joining that? Would you be working with them on any level?
We hold instructions for the South African Human Rights Commission together with the Housing Assembly as well as Mr. Qolani. And what the sort of relief that we're going for regarding this aspect of evictions is we're seeking urgent relief. We're going to be going for urgent relief against the city to ask the court to prohibit the city from conducting any further evictions, particularly during the lockdown period. And also just on a more broader and long-term declaratory note, just for the court to make a determination on the constitutionality of the institution and the conduct of this anti-land invasion unit that perpetrates this illegal land occupation demolitions, as they put it. So we're looking at a more resolute kind of an approach to this. I mean, the issues are still under discussion. We are still taking instructions. There may be a formulation of the aspect of the discriminatory nature that the city conducts itself when it administers action, but that's still very much under discussion. So we are still taking instructions.
All right, and Lelethu, can you give us some idea of how Mr. Qolani is? How's he holding up, his family as well, if you've had a conversation with him recently?
Yeah. No, we've had a conversation with Mr. Qolani. We were with him for most of yesterday. Mr. Qolani is I mean, under the circumstances, anyone would be distraught, anyone would be, for having been treated in such a vile and cruel and indecent and degrading manner, it's justifiable that someone would be distraught under the circumstances. And but we were with him. He's resolute that he wants his justice, and that's where the LRC is intentional on assisting him as far as possible in getting justice for the misconduct and the injustice that he suffered. And we also just want to mention that the SAPS has offered counseling services to Mr. Qolani just to help him deal with the ordeal.
All right. Well, thanks very much. We'll continue to keep an eye on that story.